Hello, and welcome to Prelude to Juneteenth, our official countdown to the 2017 Peekskill Juneteenth Parade and Celebration, which will be held on Saturday, June 17th, with a 2 p.m. kickoff for our parade and a 4 p.m. start for our riverfront entertainment. For today's edition of Prelude to Juneteenth, we have a returning visitor with us, Dr. William Sales, who is our resident historian and noted author, and we are so happy to have you back with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. So for those who are watching, who have never been to a Juneteenth celebration, who have never even heard of Juneteenth, what is Juneteenth?
Juneteenth is the oldest continuously celebrated African American holiday. It commemorates the day, June 19th, 1865, when slaves in Texas found out that the war, that is the Civil War, was over and that they had been emancipated. The Civil War ran from about April of 1861 through April of 1865. Although the war ended in April, communication in those days was very slow, and Texas, as a part of the Confederacy, was not an area where there were many Union troops to begin with. So it took a while for the word to be spread throughout the South. So on the 17th or 18th or so, as I recall, General Gordon Granger, a Union general, brought a regiment of troops by boat into the harbor of Galveston, Texas, and had on the following day an assemblage of people, including the slaves of Galveston, to read to them the proclamation, which was in fact the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that freed them from chattel slavery. Subsequently in Texas, every 19th of June, there were commemorations of the emancipation of slavery on the date that they understood it to have occurred. And these celebrations were parades, they were cookouts, barbecues, all sorts of festivities with a very large African American cultural component: music, poetry, dance. Starting around the 1980s, there was, out of the civil rights and black power movements, a renewed emphasis on institutionalizing Juneteenth in the consciousness of the nation. And that has been overwhelmingly successful, so that today, 45 states and the District of Columbia have officially designated June 19th as a state holiday. In addition, in the late 1990s, there were a number of proclamations coming out of the House of Representatives to give official national recognition to Juneteenth. So today, we in Peekskill, right, are moving toward our fifth, it would be sixth, actually. Is it seventh?
Seventh.
I always get confused because of the 2011, the accounting.
Right, yeah.
But, our seventh commemoration of Juneteenth. And that's why we're here today. And that's why the event is significant, not only for African Americans, but it's significant as an important milestone in American history, because it began the process of shedding the legacy of racism, which is an ongoing process even as we are in 2017 today. But that's an important milestone on the way forward.
Yeah, and I was actually ordering banners for Peekskill's Juneteenth celebration the other day. And the customer service guy that was helping me over the phone just happened to be in Galveston, Texas. And so he was looking at the banners and he said, now is this for Juneteenth? And I said, yeah. And he said, I didn't know anybody celebrated Juneteenth outside of Texas. And I said, oh, I was very proud. I was very proud. I said, oh, well, let me tell you about Peekskill, New York. I said, we've been celebrating since 2011. And in Westchester County, there are other Juneteenth parades that have been going on even longer. And it's to the point where we have at least 3 celebrations in 3 different communities in Westchester. White Plains, their parade is on the 10th. And I know Yonkers and Mount Vernon also have parades and celebrations that they have. So ours, as far as I know, being on the 17th is the latest one in the month. And I like to think of it as like the culminating Juneteenth parade and celebration. So we certainly do hope to see people from those other communities. But also, just like you said, a lot of people think that Juneteenth is just about African Americans coming out and celebrating. So like you said, it's really important that we see everybody present because it's something that affects everybody.
It does. Or the lack of recognition affects everybody because it's a legitimate part of the history of this country. And without recognizing it, one cannot have an accurate representation of the historical experience of the whole country.
Absolutely.
Slavery was not just an experience that black people had. Slavery was an experience that everybody had in this country during the times of existence. And everybody here today, all 325 or 350 million people, are impacted by the fact that there was slavery in this country until relatively recently. Now, when I say that, for young people, that may sound strange because slavery may seem to be something, what do you mean 1865? What is that all about? But I have grandparents who were born in slavery. I've saved from my genealogical research documents that show when my great-great-great-grandfather was emancipated and how the officer in the local Freedmen's Bureau gave him $10 and a letter of recommendation because he was so destitute.
Wow.
So we're only talking about a few generations back that I knew people, you know what I mean, who were the children of slaves, and a few people who were actually slaves in my lifetime.
My goodness.
So it's not as far as one wants to think.
Right.
And of course, we live in a young country, not an old country.
Yeah, this is very true. This is very true. And you know, Peekskill played a vital role in the Underground Railroad as well. And so that's something that, you know, if people really want to be able to connect with that history and to really help to make it real for them, they can actually take Underground Railroad tours on the day of Juneteenth. When we have our celebration on Saturday the 17th, the Fern Tree will actually be sponsoring Underground Railroad tours where people can go and actually see the locations where people were hidden throughout Peekskill and safe houses. And I mean, it just blows my mind.
Many people don't even know what the Underground Railroad is. And the name sometimes confuses people because the Underground Railroad is not a railroad at all. It was a system of safe houses and passageways for escaped slaves to leave the South and ultimately get to freedom in a northern state or, when necessary, all the way to Canada. And it involved slaves themselves, free blacks in North and the South, and sympathetic white people, all right? Working together, of course, many times non-violently, but at other times by whatever means necessary, as Malcolm X would say, you know, to defend themselves and the slaves. Because to be involved in the Underground Railroad was not only dangerous for the black people involved, it was very dangerous also for the white people involved. So there were white people who lost their lives because they helped black people.
Wow.
There were white people who lost their lives because people thought they, you know, helped black people. There was no definitive information that suggested this was true, but they were subject to a mob attack. There was an editor in Ohio, a man named Elijah Lovejoy, who was a white man who ran a printing press. he was of abolitionist sentiments. And the people in the community there who were not pro, emancipation, they destroyed his presses and they took his life. So this is a great struggle in American history that many different kinds of Americans participated in. And it's one of the best things that's been done in this country. And Peekskill was right in the middle of it, as you say.
Wow. Wow, and I bet there are a lot of people in Peekskill who don't know that about this rich history right here where they live. And, just like you said, it makes me think of our theme for this year, standing strong together. It's not just about one race, one people. It's about us together and being strong together. That is really powerful. So now you've been attending the parade here in Peekskill since its inception.
Yes, last year I think was the first time we were not able, my wife and I, to be here because we went to the motherland, to East Africa for a month. But it's been an annual occasion for us since its inception. And we've seen it grow and become an important and regular part of the Peekskill calendar and the calendar in Westchester County. And that's a good thing. And hopefully it'll last and last and last and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that would be a very good thing. It's very important that we institutionalize things, meaning that we make provisions so that they can continue when subsequent generations emerge. If we don't do that, then those generations don't benefit from the sacrifice of previous generations. You don't want too much social amnesia. Some things people should forget as we move from one generation to another. Like racism, they should forget that. But there are other things that people should remember.
Yes.
Because if they don't, they may repeat the mistakes of history. I think what George Santana said that, people who, don't remember history are doomed to reproduce its mistakes. I'm paraphrasing him, but it was something to that effect. And I think that the people who have been organizing Juneteenth for the last 7 years deserve recognition for something that may even be much more important than they realize right now.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm certainly excited. I'm very excited about Saturday, June 17th. We've got the kickoff ceremony that's going to happen right there at Park Street AME Zion Church, which is at, 120 Park Street for those who'd like to attend at 1:30. And that church was actually a part of the Underground Railroad.
Exactly.
And has its own strong history. So that's where we kick off the parade every year. And we've got all kinds of bands and groups coming from Brooklyn, from Mount Vernon. I mean, people who really value Juneteenth enough to travel out here. And then, of course, we have a mighty showing from Peekskill. And we've actually got Base Camp. Are you familiar with Base Camp? They are, or at least according to the Peekskill patch, when I was doing my research on them, they are the #1 R&B group in the Hudson Valley, is what I heard. So the #1 R&B experience is actually what it said. So I am very excited. I know you weren't here last year, but they brought down the house. We weren't even inside. They still brought down the house. They were so good. So they're going to be there. So, I mean, we definitely, are excited to have Hudson River Healthcare, who's been a supporter since the beginning. We're going to have the founding mothers, their families are going to be marching with us. They've been a very strong sponsor. And we have the schools coming out. Peekskill Middle School and High School are going to have their bands coming out. So we're getting the youth involved, and we're just very excited. We really hope we see everybody on Saturday, June 17th. And some of the information that you've been sharing with us, as well as a couple of other great points, we also have listed here in our Juneteenth Did You Know flyer.
That's right.
So we're hoping to have these passed out as well. We're hoping that people take advantage and brush up on their Juneteenth
right.
history here so that they really are in touch with the real reason behind the day. And we hope that people bring their families. There's something for everybody. There's something for everyone to learn. There's something for everyone to experience. And anyone who wants to be a part can jump right in. We've got room for volunteers, for people who'd like to help out. We've got spaces for people who want to be part of the entertainment down at the riverfront. For those who would like to be vendors and sell their wares or their food down at the riverfront, we welcome them. And of course, for those who'd like to march, we have space for them too. So anyone who would like to participate in the parade itself, please feel free to email us at peekskilljuneteenth@gmail.com. I'm going to repeat it just in case you just got your pen ready. That's peekskilljuneteenth@gmail.com. And you can let us know how you may want to be involved, and we can help connect you with that. Or if you have a Juneteenth question for Dr. Sales, you can send that to us too. And
Dr. Sales has a Juneteenth question for you. Okay. It's very important for people to come out and support the parade because of what Juneteenth means. But we have some grand marshals this year that it's very important for us as a community to acknowledge the tremendous contribution they've made over the years. So I was wondering how we might let people know, in particular, why this year they need to come out and support the parade.
I'm so glad you asked that question, Dr. Sales, and I'm glad it's one I could answer. When a historian says he has a question for me, I get a little nervous. But we have two amazing grand marshals this year. First, we have Miss Linda Tarrant Reed, who is an author who has written Discovering Black New York and Discovering Black America, which has all kinds of deep, rich historical facts for us, including Juneteenth, and including information about right here in New York City and the suburbs around New York City. And then we have someone, I don't know if anybody's heard of this guy, if anybody in Peekskill's heard of this guy. His name is Edward Eugene Peterson. He goes by Pete Peterson. I don't know, I think a few people in Peekskill may know him. I think he's touched the lives of just about everybody here, from what I'm hearing. And I've heard from generations of people saying, well, he touched my life, and then he helped raise my children in the school. So he is really our community hometown hero who we really feel deserves recognition for all that he has poured into the youth, but also just the community of Peekskill.
Yeah, Pete's always been there to celebrate other people's special occasions, and now it's time for us to make this parade a special occasion to him, for him on June 17th. This year's Juneteenth. Very important. I've been in Peekskill for 25 years, and the entire time that I've been here, Pete has been an important fixture in the community, and in particular in the education of our youth, and in providing a secure and loving environment for our kids to mature. And now he's about to retire. He may already have retired from his position as a security officer in the Peekskill school system, but he's still very much with us, and it's always very good to have the opportunity to say thank you to somebody who's made a contribution like Pete.
Absolutely, and he's also been a big supporter of Juneteenth since the very beginning. Since the very beginning here in Peekskill. Yes, so we cannot wait to celebrate them. And I cannot wait to go out and get Discovering Black America and Discovering Black New York, because I've been hearing wonderful things about those books, which are available on Amazon. So we hope that everybody's excited to come out and see our grand marshals. And one thing that I love about both of them is they are very, even though they've accomplished such wonderful things and given back such wonderful things, they're so approachable. You can go up and talk to them. They'll sit down and have a real conversation with you, and I love that. Yeah. I love that. We're thrilled to have them with us this year. So I'm getting chills just talking about it. I'm very excited for this year. We really do anticipate it being the biggest and the best that we've had here in Peekskill. And we really hope to see you all out on Saturday, June 17th. It is rain or shine. We will be there no matter what, and we hope that you are too. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us?
No, just see you on June 17th.
Okay, we will see you June 17th. Any questions or if you'd like to participate, please email us at peekskilljuneteenth@gmail.com. This is Michelle Gordon and Dr. William Sales signing off. Prelude to Juneteenth. Thank you.